Hi, this is Camille again from my junk journal heaven. Thank you for coming to visit today. I have some more ideas for ephemera to use in our junk journals. This idea I got from watching Kathy's garden a few days ago, I think. And she did some folding of paper. It needs to be rectangular. It can't be square. I don't think it matters the size. I think you could make them really small, which I haven't done. And she also used magazine pages, so I thought I would show you first how she did the magazine page, because some people don't have good paper. Now what you want is, you're going to need to place this on like the ruler here. And you want to fold this side up to 1 inch. You want it 1 inch at the top and 1 inch at the bottom. So you're going to start even here. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. Then you're going to take this piece over here and fold it back so that it's at 1 inch. Now the bottom you're going to have to kind of guess at, but you can kind of see by how far apart it is. And my tell is if it matches over here, that seems to work well. Now you're going to turn it up this way, and you're going to fold this over to this side. And you're going to fold this in a little because you're going to tuck it in here. Now this is the way Kathy did it. And it's really cool and it works well. And you have a tuck spot, a tuck spot, a tuck spot, and another one back here. So you actually could put it in 4 places if you wanted to. Let me see if I have some tags here that I can put on there. I know I have some tags. I had them right here. There they are. Now these aren't exactly the tags you would probably use in this, but just to show you. Oh, and you're going to glue it at the bottom. I forgot about that. If you don't glue it at the bottom, one of those tags is going to come out. So you want to glue it here. You could glue it. You also could glue it the inside pockets if you wanted to. But here you see we can put tags everywhere. And like I said, these aren't particularly tags I would put into this, but just so you have an idea. So that was how Kathy made it. And that turned out very well. Well, of course, I wasn't making it while I was watching her video. So when I decided to make one, I said, well, okay. So I did the fold here at the 1 inch mark. And if you do them smaller, you can also do them at the 1/2 inch mark. It's a little more difficult unless you've got a well designed ruler thing. This is my old cutting from my sewing. So it's not quite as defined, but anyway. And then you turn it this way, and so I turned it. I looked at it and said, oh, all right, I think you turn it this way. So I turned it this way, which is the opposite direction that Kathy did it. The only thing is, this works out well also, because now you have a double thing. And I would glue it here, put some glue on it here, and tuck that back in there, and then glue that. Glue the bottom across here. And glue this one down here also. How do I get so much glue on my hands before I even start doing anything? Now I'm going to glue the bottom on this side too. And probably down here. Now what I have? This one I would probably glue down to a paper. You wouldn't have to glue it to your page. It could still be in a pocket with pockets, but it could be glued to the page. This one I wouldn't glue down because I have a spot here, a spot here, a spot here, and if you turn it over, you have another tuck here, and here, and here. And this, I would either clip onto the page, or I would put it in a pocket so that it would fit down in, but you could take it out and have all these pieces to it. Now that's making it with book page or pages out of magazines. I also made some out of other things, but I'm going to show you out of some paper. I have some paper that I like, but it is thin and one-sided, and it's not as pretty if it's one-sided. So I glued 2 pages together, and I started folding this before I thought of this, so I'm going to put it on the 1 inch. That folds there. And this one folds down here. Your double-sided papers look so much better than the single-sided, because the single side would just show the white. And this actually is a substantial piece of paper now, doubled. I just glued it together with my glue stick. All right, and then I can do this either way I want. Now I'm going to do it the way that I goofed up and did it, because I kind of like that idea. And this one is big enough to fold over that it can actually make an extra tuck for something. Needs some good strong elbow grease there to get that to fold, because it's getting pretty thick. Maybe I should fold this on its own. First. All right, I'll do the same on this side. That seems to work better. Fold it down first and then put it over. There we go. All right, now this one I'm going to glue here. And of course, we're going to have to glue the bottoms here. And I didn't do that first, surprisingly. I forget to do things a lot. All right. That one should be good. And then I'll put some glue across here. And here. Now I have a pocket tuck. Like I said before, this could be attached to the page. It could be glued to the page. If you didn't want the both sides, you could fold it in the other way and glue it to the page. But as it stands, it's got a spot here, 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 and you could put a little tag. I don't have a little one handy here, but this is a small enough one. It could fit in there. And that's on both sides. This side didn't glue down very well either. I forgot to glue it or it didn't glue. One or the other. All right. I think that's kind of cute. And it'll work for a lot of things. You can put plain tags in it. Make some plain cardstock tags, decorate them and put in it. All right, let's do another one. It doesn't matter which side of the paper you use. They're both going to end up showing at some point. I tried to figure out when I first did them how to get the design I wanted to show on one part, and it just doesn't happen with me. Maybe you'd be better, maybe somebody else can figure that out, but I couldn't. So I just start folding. And you can see here where I didn't get it glued really well together, so I'll just cut that. All right. And now we're going to take this one back over to the 1-inch side. Now you could also ink these before you start, but I don't ink everything, and this is something that I'm not particularly going to ink. All right, and then if I'm going to do it Kathy's way, I'm going to take this over like this. And because it's so thick, you could do this with cardstock, but it's going to be just as thick or thicker than this. Probably not quite as thick, maybe. But to make one like this, I'm going to take this piece out and trim it here. And I can see the white around there, but I don't mind that so much. And this piece here is going to need to be trimmed off so it can tuck in. So we get rid of a little bit of paper there, and this comes over. Whoops, that's not trimmed enough. I can tell that. There, that has to be able to fold without a hassle. And this goes in to here. All right, now we have a tuck here. And here, well, oops, and I didn't do it at the bottom, so that one was going to go all the way through. And one here. So this is your triple-sided one. And this one, like I said, you can either glue it in, or you could actually take a piece of paper and make a pocket on the back. Whatever you wanted to do with it. But it definitely needs to be glued down here at the bottom so your tags don't fall out. Now these were, I cut the paper a little bit smaller on these two, so they made a little bit smaller. This is a little bit bigger. These papers were 12 by 12 and I cut them down to, so they're smaller. I don't know what size they are. This one is, let's see, this one's 12 by almost 9, just a little over 9. So let's start folding this one. On the mark, fold it up to 1 inch. Love this bone folder. It came from Dollar Tree. $1.25 tree. I don't think they'll ever change the name because it's their brand, but as we know, things are getting more expensive, so they had to up their prices too. All right. And because I kind of like the double-sided one, Oops, that's not quite even down there. I'm not particularly an A personality, but I do like things to be even like that. Okay. I'm going to fold this one back over this way. So I get more places to put tags. Now when I get this into a journal, I may decide I don't want all those places, so I'll glue it down to the page the way I want, so they won't show if that's what I want. And I am once again going to take this out because that's too heavy of a paper this way. I just didn't want the white side showing when I demonstrated it. So I did them this way. And this one will be here. All right, now glue. We need glue everywhere along the bottom that it can open up, because tags will fall out. And I'm just going to put it all the way across so I don't have to worry about it. And like I said, I'm not gonna bother to ink this one or those other two. I may ink the next one just because the color that it is. It would be pretty to have the inking along the edge. Okay, and then this one needs to be glued. I'm gonna press that glue into that bottom one. Now we'll glue across here. And I'm going all the way across just to make sure there's enough glue. Piece right there does not want to hold. Where are my little clips? Here's one. This is from Temu. I get a lot of my goodies from Temu. I know there's controversy about it, and the way I look at it is nobody forces me to buy from Temu. But when I go into any place to buy any kind of craft supplies, they're going to be made in China. So I might as well be getting the best deal that I can get for my money because I'm on a fixed income. All right. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. And now this is the last one. And this one, because of the colors of it, I kind of think it would be pretty if it was inked a little bit. And I'm also going to cut this white off the bottom here. Like I said, when I cut them so they were equal, but then when I glued them, they didn't glue equally. So, and I don't think it really makes that much difference because the way it ends up looking, I definitely am going to ink along here where the white is. I know inking is boring to people. I hope everybody's had a good day today. It was nice and sunny here, a little on the chilly side in the 50s. We were in the 70s last week, nice and hot. Then we had a freeze warning the other night. So far, I think my trees are okay. I have 2 peach trees that are about 3 years old, maybe close to 4. I've never gotten a peach off of them because I live in a kind of in the country and I have lots of critters. And I think the squirrels and the other critters take my peaches off my trees and eat them. Last year, I was looking at them and thinking, well, they're almost ripe enough to pick. Even if they weren't quite ripe, I could pick them and let them ripen in the house. At least I'd get some. And I went out the next day and they were gone. So this year, I'm going to put netting over my trees and hopefully keep those little critters out of there so I can have some peaches. Because I planted them because I like to eat peaches. All right. Now let's fold this one up. This is the last one, and then we're going to decorate. I'm going to fold here at the 1 inch again. Fold this one down at the 1 inch. This one I got confused so much when I made the first view of how to fold this. I was thinking I needed to fold over again that way instead of this way. Once you get used to it, it's easy to remember. But getting used to it was not that easy. All right. I like to make sure my folds are good. And I'm again going to fold mine back over this way because I really like having all these pockets. I don't think it needs to be folded that much. I won't make for the little tuck in the bottom this time. I'll have larger, wider page and wider pockets. Sorry about the noise there. All right. Now what I'm going to do is fold this one over this way. Probably should have folded the page over a little further, but anyway, I'm going to fold that one that way and glue it down there. And this one I'm going to fold back this way a little further so it fits. Kind of have to fiddle with this a little bit sometimes, but when you're making things, sometimes you have to fiddle. Which I don't know how to do. When I was in 5th grade, we moved in the middle of the year. My dad was in the Air Force, and we moved in the middle of the year to Utah. And the school that I went to there had an orchestra. Now, this was the middle of the year, mind you. My mom had played violin in her school days. I don't know how early she started, junior high, elementary, I don't know, but she played violin, and she had a violin, and she thought that since we had moved to a place where they had an orchestra and they taught people to play, that I could learn to play the violin. And the instructor was willing to teach me, I think, after school or at lunch or something. I don't remember exactly. But you're supposed to hold your chin a certain way and tuck your arm in a certain way. And I don't know who got frustrated the most, him or me, but I'd go home and practice, and then it wouldn't be completely the right way, and then I wouldn't be holding my arm right. And I finally convinced my mom that I just wasn't made to be a violinist. So that went down the tubes. I had always wanted to play the piano as I got older, but that didn't happen. We didn't have a piano, and because we moved around a bit, that would have been a lot of weight, because they only allowed a certain amount of weight when you moved from place to place. So there wouldn't have been enough weight for that. And that's all right. I have a daughter that plays the violin, the piano, and the bagpipes, and I have another daughter who's plays the flute. She's a flautist, and she played in junior high and high school. and has played for different things. The daughter that plays the violin and the piano doesn't play the piano very much anymore. They do have a piano, but it needs to be tuned, she said, so I think she'll work on that. But anyway, she plays the bagpipes all the time. She's been very busy with St. Patrick's Day. She plays for funerals. She and her husband belong to the Las Vegas Police Band, and they play with them frequently. Okay, there's that one. Now we'll decorate a little bit, and then I'll show you some that I did previously. I had tried to make this video previously, and it didn't upload, so let's hope this one uploads. Otherwise, I'm going to have so much ephemera that looks like this that I can be making journals from now till next year or the year after. I think the first thing we'll do is start looking at things that might look good with this. With these that I've made, let's see here. Maybe I can pull these out so I can see all of them kind of and decide what kind of ephemera I would like on each one. Oh, that's a little too pink maybe on that one. Let's see about this one. Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty. That would work on there. All right. Let's see what else I have in here. This is some different things that I've either bought from Temu or gotten in. Well, that one works on there. I could cut a little bit of that off. That works. Or I've gotten freebies, or when I've done other things. Now this one could actually be a tuck in there, but it's not the right color blue. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about tucks for it right now. Let's see what else I have that I could put on any of these. Can always cut them down. Oh, that's kind of sweet. It would cover up the bottom piece there, but I like that. I like that it's yellow and there's yellow there. All right, we're going to go with that one. And let's see if I find another stamp that'll go with the blue one up there. The other blue one. Nope, don't like that either. Another piece that can go with one of these. Oh, if I lose my bottom tuck spots, I could do that. I kind of like those girls on there, even if I do lose a tuck spot. I can always put something on the back that I don't lose it then. Let's see. I also have some labels and some words. Secret messages. That might work well on one of them. Perfection. That goes. Let's see. I don't know what that means, but it looks like it would look okay on there. It's in French, so who knows what it means. because I don't speak French. I used to speak German fairly fluently, and I can say a few words in Spanish that have to do with labor and delivery. And that's about it. I can understand some German, but I don't speak as much as I used to. All right, let's see here. I have flowers. You can probably tell I like to use my flowers on things. That could tuck in and be pretty on there. Let's see. That's another one that could tuck in. And it'd be pretty with the yellows. Oh, that's pretty with the roses on there. All right. I have some choices here. Oh, that one's too big. I don't know about that one. That one's kind of a small one. If I can find a small flower, maybe, a small blue flower, maybe it would work. Oh, what about that? I could go up there. Ah, I don't like that. It's kind of out there by itself. Doesn't really fit. And that's the same thing. It's a little bit of greenery. I think that actually works better there. Well, maybe my top one won't have any flowers in it. All right, let's see here if I can get any of this loose. These stickers sometimes are hard to get apart. Ooh, and this one's tearing it. Oh, don't tear. All right. Hope this is all in screen. Oh, I do like that on there. I think that's quite pretty. And this one needs a little bit of trimming. Get my little trim box over here. All right. Now I need glue. Oops. Glue the back of my this girl's laying there reading, thinking about secret messages. Now this one, if I can get this off, this one's a heavier background, so it shouldn't tear it. It's actually a heavier flower. It won't blend in. These blend in. These are from Temu, as are the flowers, but they blend in really well. Once you get the back off and get them stuck, they blend in like they belonged on the paper. They're more of a tissue type thing, or a, I don't know what you call them. All right, this one's coming off. Yay. Hooray, hooray. Oh, I guess I'm putting it up there because that's where it's stuck. All right. That one's done, at least the front of it. And the back I'll do later. I'm not going to do all of those on screen. And I may do the back when I decide what journal I'm going to use it in. Maybe I'll just do this one with my fingers. There, that's better. It's not going to tear it anyway. And I am going to lose that little tuck spot in the corner, but that's okay. I don't mind. I like this girl enough to... Now, the secret messages should have gone on her. Because look at her. She's sitting there writing something. And we'll put this little posted 5.55 on there. And now this one. Get the back off of this one is the fun thing. Is it coming off? Maybe. Maybe it's coming off. My bagpipe daughter also is the official bagpiper for Clanhattan, spelt Chattan, in Scotland, which is a confederation of clans that joined together way back, I think in the 1600s, if I'm not mistaken, because they were all small clans and they were getting beat up by the other clans. Scots didn't know how to live together in peace back then. And they'd fight over land and steal each other's cattle, things like that. But she became their official bagpiper. She's the first woman to ever be an official clan bagpiper. And she's an American, which makes it kind of interesting. She's a first. She's been playing bagpipes for a long, long time. And she really enjoys it. And her husband is a drum major. And he's been doing that for a long time. And he enjoys that. She's a real estate agent and he's a pediatrician for their money-making jobs. But they both enjoy the other things that they do. And they do a lot of traveling, and they travel to a lot of Highland games in the United States and Canada. And to other places. They keep saying they're going to slow down, but I haven't seen that yet. We'll see. Maybe someday. But they're having fun. And that's what life's about, isn't it? Doing what you enjoy and having fun doing it. If you didn't enjoy it, it would be horrible. Like they say, if you get a job you like, you'll never work a day in your life. Well, I had a job I loved, but I did work. I worked hard. I was a nurse for 30 years. I worked hard. So that didn't quite apply to me, that you don't work a day in your life. But I did love it, and I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the people that I worked with and got to know, and the patients I had. Some of them are quite memorable. Some for good reasons, some not. Depending on what the occasion was. I loved when I worked labor and delivery. I just really loved that. I believe that you get closest to heaven with two different events, and one of them's birth and one of them's death. And the birth of that baby that's just come, I always felt like they were angels right there with us as that baby came into the world. And when someone passes away, I know there's angels there and family waiting for them. And I always feel close then. The veil is really thin at that point in time. We may not remember what it was like, but when we were in heaven, but at that point, it's very, very close. All right, I'm going to have to cut some of this off, I think. Oops, don't stick yet. Don't stick, don't stick. Going to have to trim a little bit off the side. Actually, I'll just fold it around. Much easier than trimming it. All right, last one. Then I'll show you some that I did before for the previous video that didn't go anywhere. Because it fouled up and filmed part slow and part fast, and I couldn't figure out what to do about it. So we're just redoing it. This is a pretty lady. Looks like the roaring 20s. Her haircut, back when women were first starting to wear short hair. One time my mom told my grandma that she was a flapper, that she'd been a flapper, and she said I was not. But she may not have been a flapper as far as dance went, but she wore the clothes and she had the hair. My mom was born in 1928, so my grandma was right there in that era. All right, glue this one on. I'll put that one right down there. Like I said, I may put more things on it when I put it in the journal. It'll just depend what journal I put it in and what I decide to do, and I will definitely decorate the backs of them. But I'm going to show you a few others that I did the other day. This one I made out of coffee dyed paper, and I stamped on it. It's okay, and I'll probably use it, but I don't know that it's my favorite. I put some stickers on it and some things, but it's a piece of ephemera. This one, it's printed, and both sides were printed from coffee dyed paper, and for some reason my printer printed yellowish. So this side has lace. Kathy, when she did hers, she put lace on most of hers, and they were very beautiful. They were very pretty. This one is the backing of the coffee dyed paper and then a printed sheet, and I just decorated it with some flowers and things. This one, I put a ticket on here and a picture of some people, probably from the 1800s, and a number. And the back of it's plain. This is a piece that I did from just, I think it was a back page of a book, and I haven't done any decorating on it. I'm just going to wait and see where I decide to put that, because that's a good plain one. This is just a book page that I made one out of, and so's that one. That one's no good. And this was one that I did from a magazine cover, and it's got all the tags in it. I don't know that I'll ever use that. I may not. Oh, and here's another one that I have not decorated. I did this one earlier tonight, I think. But it'll get decorated. It'll have some goodies on it. Maybe I can do a little bit now. As a matter of fact, I think I've got some lace here, and I think I'll put some of this lace on it and then go from there. Let's see what else I'm going to do with it. Put the pin back in my glue before my glue dries out. And Oh, that lace looks pretty with that, doesn't it? This one may just have lace on it. It'd look real pretty in a spring journal. All right, let's get some Fabri-Tac over here and put some down and get some lace on it. I think I need to thin this down. Miss Edith from Scrapbooking with Me says you put a little bit of, oh, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, this stuff you remove nail polish with, but it has to be the pure stuff, not the nail polish remover. And I happen to have some of that because I use gel nail polish when I use it. And it requires the strong stuff to get it off. All right, now do I want it to go both ways? All the ways? The back of this is plain, so I don't need to worry about that. I think I'm going to put it everywhere. What the heck? Why not? I've got it. I might as well use it. I'm a hoarder. I hoard things. I don't want to use them up right away. I want to save them for the perfect time. I've done that so much with fabric. I've got so much fabric and I think, oh, I don't want to use that right now for this. I'll go out and buy some other for this and I'll use that for something else later. And later very rarely comes. I'm going to have to put something in here to hold this so it doesn't glue to itself for right now. All right. And I have a lot of lace on this one, but it's pretty lace and it kind of matches what's on there. Why not? Maybe that's all I'll put on it is lace and then a label or something. I really don't like trying to decide which is the right side of lace. I don't know. Ooh, it's coming out. It's gooping out. Might as well just put it on there while I've got it there. And then I'll put it across there. All right. Oh, that one's got too much glue down there. I don't want it to stick down there. That's not good if it sticks too much. All right, here's another piece. This is going to be a lot of lace. I probably shouldn't have put this much on it, but oh well, it's done now. It's done now. This piece of ephemera is laced up. Actually, I think it would look good just with those. And I'll use my lace eraser to get that off. I think that's what I'll do. I don't think it needs lace up at the top. It was getting to be more than what it needed. Put my lace back around. All right. Now I know a lot of places have these glue erasers, but I got mine at good old Dollar Tree. And I see them there. They usually have them in their craft section. And that'll take the glue off of somewhere when you don't want it there. All right. Ooh, glue. All right. All right. I know this is going to need more than lace. So, I'm thinking, where did I put those? There they are. I'm thinking I'm going to want one of these little ladies again. I know. I've used them on everything, but I really think they're cute. There's a cute little girl. She's got a lot of pink, but then there's pink here in the paper. Let me see if there's another one that I like better. Oh yes, that's good. Can you hear my little dog? She wants me to play with her. It's okay, Bitsy. It's all right. You're okay, girl. She thinks if I'm doing something else or talking that I need to play with her. If I get on the phone to talk to somebody, she'll bring a toy and want me to play with her. She's just a little 18-pounder. Just a little girl. Well, goodness, I don't know what that is, but I don't want it in there. There. All right. Let's put this little 35-cent or 35 whatever on here. And it's not even. I don't want it crooked. Well, crooked is my modus operandi today, I guess. All right. There we go. There's that. And oh, I don't want a purple flower. I was thinking that was pink. Well, it kind of goes. It's got a little bit of color in it. Let's use this one. It's kind of cute. We'll give it something. Give us something to look at there. My little Bitsy, she doesn't lick. She barks occasionally, but she cries. And her favorite place is under the head of the bed. She has a little, what I call her hidey hole. Her toys are usually under there until I don't pay attention to her, and then she'll bring one out and she'll put it down where I can get to it and squeak it. They have to squeak. Put it down where it squeaks. And if I don't pay attention to that one, then she'll go get a different one and bring it out and squeak it until I pay attention to her. And then we throw the toy and she plays with it. The only funny thing is if we go outside and I throw the toy, she looks at me like I'm nuts. She won't go after it. I cannot figure her out. Strange little animal. But she's my little sweetheart. She's always happy when I come home. Happy to see her person. Greets me at the door with a toy in her mouth. Because, of course, the minute I come in the door, I want to play, don't I? All right, I think this little label will be okay right there. Right there. Yeah. And then we're done. And I've got a big mess on the end of my glue here. I'm going to need to take off. There we go. All right. There we go. I hope you guys have fun folding some paper into almost origami shapes, I think. I don't do origami, but it looks to me like this is kind of an origami type thing. And it'll be fun to put in journals for ephemera. It'll also be fun to use in pockets and in my stash. I can put this in the stash for a while because we all need a stash, don't we? So we've got things ready to put in our journals. All right, that's it. Let me spread these out a little bit so you can see the ones I've done before and the ones I did tonight that I did with you. And I thank you for coming to my journal heaven, and hope you have a good night and a good day, and we'll see you next time.